I gave to you my heart, and I gave it oh so blindly, and I fell so deep I didn't see what was to be. And you gave to me your heart, and I took it oh so gladly, and we fell so deep, free falling, so lost, so lost. Save me from my broken reason. Save me.
Hey guys, Wally here, and this is a tutorial for a device I'm terming the animal breeding stopwatch or stop clock. And what it is a clock, very long clock that is triggered by a button press and will run until it reaches the desired length of time, and then will stop itself and output a constant redstone signal. So let's have a look how to build this. The clock is actually based upon Seth Bling's 7.5 minute clock, and the first thing we do is build that clock with 4 hoppers, feeding into each one, feeding into the next hopper in a circuit. So if you were to put an item in a hopper, it would just go round and round forever. Then what we do is we look at the direction of the hoppers, and as we can see, this hopper is going into this hopper, so we'll, on each side, this will be the first hopper and this is the second. First hopper, second. So we grab some comparators and we place comparators facing out of the first hoppers, and then they are going into blocks of any type, and then we grab some repeaters and redstone, and we place a redstone next to the block and a repeater into the second hopper on each side. Okay, that's effectively Seth Bling's 7-minute clock. If we load stacks of items into one of the hoppers, they will trickle round and make a complete circuit in about 7.5 minutes. Okay, so the next thing to do is make the clock run 3 times only and then stop. And we're going to build a counter in order to do that. Now, the first step is to decide on a side to start the counter on, and it really doesn't matter what side, and then facing out of the block that the comparator points at, place a repeater on the default setting, and next to that, out of the redstone, a repeater on the second setting. So this is actually going to end up being mirrored to the demonstration model, because when I placed the hoppers down, they went in the opposite direction to the ones over there. So it's important to take note of what way you've put things down and work from that, rather than trying to exactly copy some sort of diagram. Next step is to place 2 blocks and torches on top of those blocks, and then blocks on top of those torches. And then if we face in the direction so that we see redstone block, we can then say that's the block that needs a torch on the side. And then we put a block here over this repeater on the side of this torch, come out one, and then pull this along here until it sits over this empty space here. And then we make a 4x3 platform there. we run redstone along here, and then we place 3 repeaters on the default setting, 1 repeater with 2 ticks of delay, and then 3 repeaters down here, all on default, and then either some redstone, or in fact you could place a block. In order for the clock to lock itself, we need to power the hopper in this position here, and that will stop the flow of items around the device. And the way we do that is to place redstone here, and you see it will join up there, and a block on top of that redstone. Okay, so the clock is effectively built now. This block here is our power input, and you can place a button there or run some redstone into it, or any other method you'd like to power it. And it's time to test. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a redstone torch on top of here to give us a visual indicator, and we're going to put a few items in there. Now the clock is going to run quite quickly, and you'll see this counter moving along. Okay, so the clock is now stopped, and if we press the button, we see the counter clears, and it runs and counts 1, 2, and 3, and off. So now we know that the clock's actually working. If we look at these 2 hoppers, you'll notice there are 3 items in there and 2 items in there. Now there will always be very few items in this hopper, normally 2. I've not seen it be anything other than 2, and this hopper will normally have the majority, the bulk of the items. Okay, so if we fill the system with 5 stacks of items, 5 full stacks of items, we'll get a clock of around 26 minutes. However, if you're using it for animal breeding, as we are, I would recommend using 4 stacks, which if we pop over here, we should be able to see just under 4 stacks there. So this one runs quite tightly. I believe the actual number is 4 stacks. So 3 stacks and 60. Near enough 4 stacks. And that will make the clock run for just over 20 minutes, which is the time it takes for a baby animal to grow into an adult. So you could hook a cooker up to this redstone signal and allow it to cook the animals once they've grown up. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I hope you can find a use for this in your world. And until next time, guys, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.